Yeah. Yeah. Running back Nation, what is good? Sixers Nation, what is good? Sixers sickos, what is good? Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. The Philadelphia 76ers take out the Houston Rockets 124-115 on Joel Embiid's return from injury. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day at a 1 p.m. midday Monday game. Odd time for a game. Felt weird. I don't know. I'm just used to certain hours, I guess. Watching an NBA game at 1 p.m. just felt all kinds of weird. I didn't feel like I was really awake most of the first half. But now I'm good. I hit my caffeine minimum, and I feel like I'm awake now. Okay. If you're here, please do me a favor. Close out the chat one time and hit the like button. 89 people in here right now. Give me 89 likes on the stream. Okay. Turn your notification bell on. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Listen to this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms. And join the Discord. Link is pinned at the top of the chat. If you want to call into the show, you join the Discord. You go in the call-ins waiting room, and then I can just drag you into the call-in section, and you're on the show. All right? Thanks for being here. Let's get down to business. Shout out to everybody in the chat hanging out. Shout out to everybody that came through the playback. Shout out to everybody in the Discord chat right now. Sixers take out the Rockets 124-115. Joel Embiid returns from injury, and is he going to be a little bit rusty? Does he have to shake off the rust? This is what they said. They said this the last time he came back from injury, that Joel is going to have to shake off the rust. I didn't see any rust. I didn't see any rust at all. Joel Embiid comes out here after missing 3 games with the knee sprain. Joel Embiid comes right out here and gets to work against the Houston Rockets and puts up a pretty easy 41-10 game. Joel Embiid is completely unstoppable, especially against a team like the Houston Rockets. They don't even have a 7-footer on the roster outside of Boban Marjanovic, who was sitting on the bench and didn't even get it put in the game with 40 seconds left when it was already over. The Rockets have no size at all. A good game for Joel to come back in after injury and get back in his groove. Nobody can stop him on this Rockets team. I mean, definitely plenty of times where Joel got under the rim and Şengün was in pretty good position, and Joel just kind of treated it like he wasn't even there. No, Şengün is just absolutely no match for Joel Embiid under the rim. Not a chance of him even really contesting the shot. Didn't even really make him alter the shot anytime Joel got down there under the rim on him. And that was essentially the story of the game. You know, the Sixers started out hot. They got off to a 7-0 start, right? Tobias Harris picks up where he left off, having a couple 30-plus point games in a row. Tobias Harris scores the first points of the game on a three-pointer, and the Sixers get off to a 7-0 start. Then the Rockets make a little bit of a run, and the game is 17-16. Sixers are down 1, 17-16. And that is where the game ended. The game ended in the first quarter when the Sixers were down 17-16. They went on a 24-2 run after that, and it was a blowout. They were up by 28 points in the first half. To be down 1 halfway through the first quarter and to be up 28 halfway through the second quarter is a pretty insane point swing. The Houston Rockets in that second quarter could not buy a bucket. They couldn't make anything. They were shooting bricks. I thought the Sixers' perimeter defense was pretty good. A couple of times they failed to rotate a couple of wide open shots that the Rockets just hit off the back of the rim. I mean, they just couldn't make any shots. It really looked like the Rockets were on a traveling back-to-back in this game. But they were not. They were rested. They just stunk up the joint against the Sixers tonight. And Joel Embiid just did a little bit of everything. Had a segment where his mid-range jump shot started falling. He scored 6 straight points at one point off of jumpers over top of Alperen Şengün. Then he had a couple of drives to the basket. Again, Şengün was no match for him under the rim. How many did he hit any threes in the game? He was 1 for 5 from 3, so he chucked up 5 of them. Only made 1. Had an and 1 play where he drove left, got fouled with Jalen Green reaching in and banked that one in for an and 1. The third quarter, where Joel Embiid really started to put the Rockets away, or the second quarter or third quarter, don't remember. Again, weird time. Don't really feel like my brain is on right now. You could see the Rockets' entire team start to get frustrated with Joel Embiid, and Ime Udoka picked up a technical foul in that sequence. Dylan Brooks was getting pissed off, getting called for fouls. It was right around, like, Joel went to the free throw line like 3 or 4 times in a row, and the second one was really a double team where Amen Thompson kind of bear hugged him, and Joel just threw the ball up in the air and got the foul call. Dylan Brooks is yelling at the ref for a sweep through motion or something like that. I don't know. Joel frustrated the entire Rockets team. There's nothing they could do with him. They couldn't stop him from scoring. They had to start grabbing him. He started to go to the free throw line. They were completely out of options. You could see the frustration building, and then Udoka gets called for a technical foul. I just thought that was pretty much the story of the game. The Houston Rockets had no answer for Joel Embiid, and he completely dominated from start to finish. Tyrese Maxey had a tough shooting night, but I really love this at the start of the fourth quarter. Maxey, tough shooting night. Joel Embiid's going off, but the Rockets make a little bit of a run in the second half. We were up 28 in the second quarter. They start to cut it to 15, 16, 17, whatever it is, in the third, into the fourth. Then to start the fourth quarter, Maxey, even struggling shooting like he did the first 3 quarters, he still has the confidence to put the team on his back and put the nail in the coffin in the fourth quarter. And to start the fourth, he gets called for a questionable travel call, which is ridiculous. On a step-back 3, he gets called for a travel on what looked like a really basic step-back. I've seen NBA players take 3.5 steps for years now. For some reason, that was called a travel. I thought some of the officiating was really bad. The fact that the Rockets were getting the calls that they were getting and still lost this game by 1 million is funny to me. Actually, they only lost the game by 9 because the Sixers' deep bench almost blew the whole lead at the end like they always do. But it was essentially a blowout outside of that, outside of the Furkan Korkmaz minutes, which, by the way, Kate Scott claims that South Philly loves Furkan Korkmaz. That is not true at all. Not a single person in South Philly loves Furkan Korkmaz. Nobody likes Furkan Korkmaz. Get him out of here. He sucks. He's terrible. He requested multiple trades. Nobody wants you. You're not good. We're paying you $5 million a year to sit on the end of the bench. You suck. No. South Philly does not love Furkan Korkmaz. And the Sixers' deep bench almost blows the lead at the end of the game. But what was I saying, man? I'm really rambling. Oh, yeah, the start of the fourth quarter, after Maxey gets called for the travel, which was not a travel, he gets a driving and 1 finish. Then he hits a step-back 3 from the top of the key. Then he drives left side, blows by his man, open. Amen Thompson comes to the rim. Maxey, 2-hand slam again. I mean, we're starting to get Tyrese Maxey poster dunks out here, and that wasn't a poster dunk. But still, he usually lays that in with the left, right? And we're at a point now, I think, just after that poster that he had a couple nights ago against the Atlanta Hawks, I think Tyrese Maxey is like, I can dunk the ball, actually. So now when I drive to the rim and they nobody really contests, I'm not going to lay it in. I'm going to slam it. So we get a Maxey drive left side, 2-handed slam. So even though Maxey, struggled shooting in the game for the first 3 quarters, he finishes the game 12 for 21. No, that's Joel's 12 for 21. Maxey was 8 for 18. So he almost gets back up to 50% from the field. He was 6 for 10 from 3. That's a damn good percentage. He had the Iverson-esque step back through the legs from 3. Finished the game with 27. I think he went into the fourth quarter with only 18 or 19. And finished the game with 27. So the beginning of the fourth was really where they put the nail in the coffin, and a lot of that was Tyrese Maxey. I mean, Joel Embiid, obviously player of the game, completely dominated Hawks. Rockets had no answer for him whatsoever, but the nail in the coffin was really the beginning of the fourth with Tyrese Maxey going off right there. So, and then they start to run the two-man game, and Maxey starts to kick it back to Joel, and he starts to hit some more jumpers and really put the Rockets away. Game was over with about, 8 minutes left. Joel had 37 and 9. Joel stays in the game to chase the 30 and 10 streak. I don't know how I feel about it, really. You know what I mean? But he stays in the game to chase the 30 and 10 streak. The NBA world's going to say that he stat padded. He did stat pad. Chucked up a 3 to try to get to 40. That didn't work. He hit a mid-range jumper to get to 39. Then I think he drove in and got fouled and got to the free throw line to get 40, or he got another bucket to get 41. Either way, ends with 41 and 10, keeps the streak alive. I don't know. Joel's in there in a 25-point blowout with 7 minutes left. I'm like, do you really have to stay in the game to chase this streak that nobody essentially cares about? You know what I'm saying? But he stayed in, stat pad a little bit, got 41 and 10, and then went to the bench. Funny that Joel went to the bench with 7 minutes left, and the Rockets were down by 25, and Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris stayed out there for one more play for Tobias Harris to throw a very Tobias Harris-esque turnover for a Rockets fast break dunk, and then Nick Nurse called a timeout, took Maxey, Tobias, and everybody out of the game and put the deep bench in. And then the deep bench, Furkan Korkmaz and all those guys started to blow the lead at the very end. We were making jokes in the playback stream. We were like, dude, Tyrese Maxey might have to come back in this game. I mean, there was a segment where the Rockets cut it to 12. Jalen Green got fouled on a drive. Maybe it was Smith Jr. got fouled on a drive. But somebody from Houston got teed up at the same time. It was an and-one finish, and they missed the technical foul and they missed the other free throw. So the Rockets had a chance to who got teed up? No, Daniel House Jr. got teed up because the Rockets were shooting a technical free throw. Either way, they had a chance to cut it to 10 there with about 2 minutes left. And I was like, there's no way the deep bench is about to blow this lead after we were up 28 in the second quarter. They held on to it. We saw games like that in years past where the deep bench would blow the lead and they had to put the starters back in the game. Nurse didn't have to put the starters back in. The bench stayed out there. They held on by the skin of their teeth. They held on, and the game ends 124-115. But great win, great performance by Joel Embiid after missing a couple games. Didn't seem rusty at all, but now you know what it is. Joel has to play against the Nuggets tomorrow. Joel Embiid absolutely has to play against the Denver Nuggets tomorrow, because you can't come out here after missing games with injury and play the first game of a back-to-back against the Houston Rockets, who has nobody on the roster that can defend you. I'm not saying he shouldn't have played this game, but you got to give us Embiid Jokic tomorrow in Philly. You have to give us Joel Embiid versus Nikola Jokic tomorrow in Philly. Joel Embiid, if you're watching this, if somebody that knows him is watching this, if one of his friends is watching this, if somebody's in his camp is watching this, if one of his family members is watching this, do it for the fans, Joel. Do it for the fans. You have to play Nikola Jokic tomorrow. I don't care about the MVP award. I don't care who wins the MVP at this point. I don't care if you hit the minimum amount of games. That's what they're talking about in the Discord right now about the MVP, and he has to play this amount of games. So I don't care. I don't even want you to hit the minimum amount of games because I don't care if you win MVP anymore. We want you to be healthy for the playoffs. But we need this. The NBA regular season is so brutal at times. The NBA regular season gets monotonous and boring at times. You got to give us a Joel Embiid Nikola Jokic matchup for the books. It's for the books, man. So you come out here, you play against the Rockets, you dominate. Everybody knew you could do that against the Houston Rockets. We need you to play against the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. And if you don't play, all we're going to hear from the NBA world is that you ducked Jokic again, and you played against the easier team, and then you sat out against the Nugget. Like, come on, man. Come on, Joe. Come on. What other thoughts do I have on this game, man? Hey, if you want to call me and give me your thoughts, the Discord link is pinned at the top of the chat. Click there, go to the call-in waiting room, and you can give your thoughts on the game. 234 people in here. Thanks for being here in the middle of a Monday. I appreciate you. We got the Eagles later. That's why I'm rocking the Eagles gear. You know what I mean? Even though they're frauds and they completely collapsed, epic collapse, last 5 of their last 6. They are absolutely stinking up the joint right now. We still got to watch the Eagles-Bucks playoff game and root for our guys, man. So that's why I'm wearing this. But third quarter, let's see. Sixers did begin to collapse a little bit in the third quarter. Turnovers, offensive rebounds. Joel Embiid got called for his 5th foul in the third quarter, which was annoying because it was 2 touch fouls in a row. You know, he had 3. You let him play with 3, okay. Picks up his 4th on Şengün, which was a questionable one. Then he gets called for a real ghost foul on Dylan Brooks for his 5th foul in the third quarter. And then they sat him down, and he came back. Didn't start the fourth. I thought it was interesting that he didn't start the fourth quarter. You know, Marcus Morris and Batum and everybody were out there, and Paul Reed was out there to start the fourth quarter. I don't know if Joel was harassing Nurse or something to put him back in the game to get this 10th board to keep the 30-10 streak alive, but Nurse put him back in about a minute and a half way through the into the fourth, and he got what he wanted. And then, like I said, Maxey went on that run and put him away. Pat Bev had a nice little segment in the fourth quarter, running pick and rolls with Paul Reed. You know, Pat Bev got to the Maxey. There was an interesting segment where Maxey went to cross over and drive the lane and turn the ball over. And the next play, Patrick Beverley called for the ball, ran a pick and roll with Pat Bev with Paul Reed and got a right side layup off the glass. And then ran another pick and roll and dished it to Paul Reed underneath. So I talk about that dynamic a lot, about Tyrese Maxey having a facilitator on the floor with him, or Tyrese Maxey having that combo style point guard on the floor with him, and how it can benefit him, and how there's definitely segments of a game where Maxey can run it by himself. But at the end of the day, he's a scorer. He's a scoring guard. He's a scoring combo guard who has some facilitating ability. But I like when Nick Nurse switches it up and puts Pat Bev on the floor with him to give him a little bit more of that freedom. You know, run him at the 2. You don't have to be responsible for handling the ball or running the half-court offense. He can just run around and come off screens and things like that. So we saw that again, and that's again why I think that DeJounte Murray is a perfect trade piece for the Philadelphia 76ers, because he fits that mold of combo point guard who can play with Maxey and has a little bit more size and defensive ability. DeAnthony Melton didn't play in this game. He still has the back issue, but it's the same thing, you know, with really what DeAnthony Melton tries to do on the floor with Maxey. DeAnthony Melton's not a point guard whatsoever, and anytime he runs a pick and roll, I cringe and pray that he doesn't turn it over or drive the lane and, you know, miss a layup. I like DeAnthony Melton for what he is, but if you could get a bigger point guard in there, like a DeJounte Murray, I think that's the perfect trade. The Sixers with Joel Embiid are a contender and can beat anybody. The Sixers without Joel Embiid struggle to basically beat anybody. They did, you know, blow out the Hawks the other night, was it? Without Joel Embiid? But it's just crazy how it's a night and day difference with Joel on the offensive side and the defensive side. And so, you know, I don't think the Sixers need this third all-star scorer, Zach LaVine, people throw out there all the time because they say, like, when Joel's out and Maxey's struggling, we need another guy. And it's like, no, you don't really. You need Joel Embiid to be healthy. You're not winning anything if Joel Embiid's not healthy. You need Joel Embiid to be healthy. That's what you need. So, you know, I just think they could add a couple of pieces. And if Joel's healthy and they add a couple pieces at the trade deadline, they're a championship contender. I honestly believe that. When we play games without Joel, without Batum, without Covington, we're missing a whole bunch of role players and we get burned. It looks a lot worse than it really is. That's what I'm saying about the situation, man. That's what I'm saying about the situation. I just think I just think if you have Joel healthy and you add a couple pieces at the trade deadline, you're a contender. That's what I think, man. We got a couple people in the Discord, man. Let's check it out. Andre2999. Andre, what's going on? Andre in the Discord. Andre's not saying anything, man. We'll put you back in the waiting room. We got AJ Analysis on the line, man. AJ, what's going on? You can unmute your mic in the Discord. AJ. Oh, I don't have... Wait a minute. It's me. It's me, man. I don't have my mic hooked up in the Discord, bro. Do I? I'm not in the damn Discord room, dude. There we go. It's my fault. Andre, what's going on? Damn it.
DJ Eastwood.
Hey, there we go. I got it, man. My bad. What's going on? Andre, what's good? Bro. Yo.
DJ Eastwood. Sorry, man.
What's up?
What's good, man?
What's going on, man? What you think?
Good?
Give me your thoughts, man. Hit me with something, bro.
Enjoying this holiday. Watch the game.
Yep.
DJ Eastwood, you still there?
All right, Andre's not saying anything, man. I don't get it, bro. AJ, unmute your mic. You can hit me with something, man. Give me something to talk about, bro. AJ!
Yo, hello?
AJ, what's good, man? AJ! Unmute your mic!
Oh, yeah. What's good? What do you think about the win?
I just gave all my thoughts. AJ, give me your thoughts.
Hello?
AJ, give me your thoughts. All right. No more Discord. Get Discord out of here. I've had enough. I tried, bro. You motherfuckers call the show and don't say anything. Call the show and say something, man. Damn, bro. Letting everybody down, bro. 240 people in here, and you call the show and say, what are your thoughts on the game? I just talked for 25 minutes. I want your thoughts. Anyway, thanks for calling. Thanks for attempting. I'll just read the chat and I'll continue to chop it up because I don't have the patience today, man. I'm a little short on sleep, and it's a midday game, man. 124 to 115. Who else we got to talk about? Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris got back to himself today. A little 10-point Tobias Harris game. Some really bad defensive efforts from Tobias Harris. There was a drive by, I always want to call him Kevin Porter Jr., man. Smith Jr., Jabari Smith Jr. There was a drive by Jabari Smith Jr. where Tobias Harris, for some reason, and you guys were watching this game, you know what I'm talking about. You saw this play. I think it was the end of the third quarter. Smith Jr. drives to the basket. Tobias doesn't even move his feet, doesn't even try to get in front of him, just reaches out and slaps him. I mean, the sheer, just blatant lack of effort on that play is just so Tobias Harris. I'm not here to clown Tobias. I know Joel was having a great game, and I don't care that Tobias only scored 10 points, but several times in this game, I saw an embarrassing lack of effort from Tobias Harris, and that was one of them. There was another one too where Şengün drove baseline. He beat Joel off the dribble. Tobias and everybody just stood there and let him dunk it wide open. I understand you're up 25, but I need a little bit more effort than that, Tobias. And you go off against the Atlanta Hawks and some of these teams that don't have size and athleticism, and then you play the Houston Rockets, and you just don't look the same. You looked the same in the beginning of the game. You had the confidence there, but we're back. We're back to Tobias Harris being Tobias Harris. I told you they should have traded him at midnight. I told you, bro. You got a 33-point game and a 37-point game. And you didn't trade him at midnight, man. You let him come back and play another game. And now he goes back to looking like Tobias Harris, man. Now you can't trade him. When are you going to listen to Eastwood? When are you going to listen to me? Anytime Tobias Harris has a 30-plus point game, you got to trade him at midnight. Anyway, Nicholas Batum had some good moments, fighting for rebounds, getting steals. Thought he played a good game. Kelly Oubre Jr. only finished with 7, but he was important too. He had 4 steals in the game. I thought he played really high energy defense. You know, a lot of these guys make up for guys like Tobias Harris who don't fly out to the three-point line. It's nice to see guys like Kelly Oubre who actually give 100% effort every game and every play. So shout out to Oubre Jr. for the 4 steals, 3 for 8 from the field, 1 for 3 from the floor. Morris Sr., 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. One of them was fourth quarter, like dagger time, you know, when I said, like, if we can get this lead back up to over 20, we can leave Embiid on the bench. And Morris hit a corner 3. I thought it was fun that Marcus Morris got into it a little bit with Dillon Brooks. The last time we played the Rockets, Dillon Brooks didn't play. And I said, you know, I want to watch Dillon Brooks play the Sixers because I know at least Marcus Morris or Patrick Beverley is going to get in a fight with him. There was a little segment where the double technical between Morris and Dillon Brooks. So I like that. That was fun. Gives a little bit of excitement for the game, you know. Everybody likes a fight. Morris Sr. got elbowed in the jaw by Şengün on a drive. Took it like a champ. I would have been knocked out cold and I wouldn't have came back in the game. Morris just kept playing like nothing even happened because he grew up, you know, North Philly. So Morris gives you 8 points. Daniel House Jr. got hurt too, man. He had a play where he, towards the end of the game, where he landed on his back and limped into the locker room. So we'll see what they say about Daniel House Jr. Patrick Beverley gives you 11 points and 6 assists. And, you know, in that section in the third quarter, Patrick Beverley really kind of saved the Sixers because the Rockets were making a run and Maxey was struggling, and Pat Bev stepped up and made some big plays at the point guard position. So I love what Patrick Beverley did in the game. KJ Martin got in the game at the end, cut down the lane, has a chance to throw down a hammer, and misses a finger roll layup. I can't figure out how, when we made this Harden trade, I'm seeing KJ Martin highlights. I'm seeing all kinds of circus dunks out here. This guy's a high flyer. Poster here, poster there, poster here, poster there. This guy puts on a Sixers jersey and absolutely cannot dunk the basketball, bro. Why? KJ Martin, why in the world would you come down the lane and not dunk the damn ball? How did you put on a Sixers jersey, forget how to dunk? All I want to see is a KJ Martin poster dunk, and you just won't do it. It's like the weak Tobias mentality has infiltrated everybody. Tobias teaching KJ, man. It's got to be it, bro. It's got to be it. Can we talk about how Morris was so hated on the Clippers, but he's been a goddamn beast on the Sixers? I don't know. Was he hated on the Clippers? I say this a lot. That season last year where, you know, Kawhi and Paul George missed the combined 60 games, Morris and Robert Covington were playing 20-plus minutes per game and had the Clippers the 5th seed in the West. I don't know if people were hating him on the Clippers. I think when you have injuries, when Kawhi and Paul George are out, right, and you have players like Marcus Morris who have to step up into those roles, then he's gonna, you know, he's not gonna look so good. Like anytime you deal with a lot of injuries and role players have to try to step up and do things that they shouldn't be expected to do, then yeah, you're gonna, you know, yeah, you're gonna. He was probably hated on the Clippers because he's just not that player. Marcus Morris Sr. is this player. He should be doing this. He should be coming off the bench for 14 minutes like he did tonight, giving you 8 points and 5 rebounds, and that's it. That's it, right? But if say we're playing without Joel and Maxey, right, and Morris has to play 25 minutes, he's going to do some things that make you say, holy shit, get Marcus Morris off the floor. He didn't get exposed defensively in this game when he was in the game. So, I like that because he does get exposed defensively a lot. There was a couple times where Şengün had him one-on-one and he played pretty good defense. He moved his feet and stayed in front of him. Şengün, not the quickest player in the world, so that probably helps. But I liked the game from Morris Sr., man. Other than that, man, listen. Daytime game, Joel Embiid dominates the Rockets. Tyrese Maxey adds 27 and 7 on a couple of nail-in-the-coffin daggers towards the end of the game. The Sixers' deep bench almost blows it, but the Sixers win. Pretty convincing win. DJ, I would recommend you watch Rasheed Wallace destroy Doc Rivers on how bad of a coach he was on his podcast with Arenas. I absolutely cannot stand Gilbert Arenas' podcast. I can't stand Doc Rivers either, and anybody that talks trash on Doc Rivers is cool with me, but I will not ever voluntarily listen to Gilbert Arenas' podcast. The guy's drunk all the time. It's just him and his friends drunk saying random things. The guy has said some of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody say on a microphone since he started this Gil's Arena podcast. It is crazy. He's known as the worst former NBA player with a podcast that's out there. I mean, he just said, Gilbert Arenas is the one. I was just saying this during the stream, bro. Gilbert Arenas is the one that keeps saying, fuck, what's his name, bro? Rockets player, bro. Gilbert Arenas keeps calling him a top 5 player in the NBA. Jalen Green. He keeps calling Jalen Green a top 5 player in the NBA. What's wrong with this guy? He says random stuff and has no clue what he's talking about. What did he say about Joel Embiid that was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard? Arenas, Joel Embiid. Listen to this, bro. What did Gilbert Arenas say about Joel Embiid? Gilbert Arenas explains why comparing Joel Embiid and Shaquille O'Neal makes no sense. I don't know. He said things about Embiid that don't make any sense. He doesn't watch ball anymore. He just gets drunk and says things on his show, and I'm not watching it. 292 people in here, but send me the clip on Twitter. Send me the clip of Rasheed Wallace talking shit on Doc Rivers. I'll watch that. I'm not supporting Gilbert Arenas' podcast. I can't stand it. He said he wants Jalen Green to go to the Knicks. I like Jalen Green as a prospect, but come on, bro. You saw tonight. Where's Jalen Green at, bro? Where's he at? What did he do today? Did he do anything? Where is he? Jalen Green. He had 20 points. He was 7 for 16. He was 1 for 7 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 fouls. Just not very effective, Crazy that Şengün was held to 19, 9, and 6. Good defense by the Sixers on him. But, once you look at the Rockets' stats here, you really got to talk about how good the Sixers were defensively and how bad the Rockets shot the ball here. Amen Thompson had 14 off the bench. Cam Whitmore had 14 off the bench. He had 22 against the Celtics 2 nights ago. I knew Cam Whitmore would get some buckets on us. Overall, pretty good defensive performance from the Sixers. Amazing performance from Joel Embiid. And now you got to play the Nuggets tomorrow, man. Mr. Rudy, if Joel ducks the Nuggets, I'm out. Mr. Rudy is over it. If Joel ducks the Nuggets, Mr. Rudy is out of here. Mr. Rudy's not having it. He don't want to hear it. Mr. Rudy doesn't want to hear that you dominated the Rockets and then sat out against the Nuggets. I'm with you. You got to give us that matchup tomorrow, Joe. You absolutely have to. You got to give us that matchup tomorrow. You have to. I got nothing else to say, man. We got to get ready to watch the Eagles game a little bit later. Shout out to the Sixers for dominating the Rockets, and Joel's back. Comes back from injury, drops 41 and 10. Stat pads a little bit towards the end, but we're not going to talk about that. The Sixers are very, very good with Joel Embiid. Without Joel Embiid, not so much, but they are very, very good with Joel Embiid. A couple of pieces at the trade deadline, and the Sixers are contenders. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Sixers Nuggets game, and Joel has to play, man. I'm with you on that, bro. I'm with you on that. I'm